Good morning, crew. We are in the lovely town of Ito in the lovely prefecture of Shizuoka. We're a little ways from home, so I thought I would do a live stream. What's up, Bob? Welcome to the stream. We are chilling. We are chilling Riverside. Hey, Jules, welcome. We are in the lovely town of Ito. And I am standing next to some severely cool bamboo art. Inside these bamboo poles are lights, and at night these designs light up and they look super cool. And there's not just one, there are many. So I figured we'd take a walk, head down to the downtown area. I just came out of my hotel. My hotel is right there. That's it. So we are going to walk down the river. The lovely Miss Risako and I came to Ito yesterday in order to have a quick vacation and to see a fireworks display. It's getting to be that type of time of year. How is the sound? Can you guys hear me? Right now, it is 7:35, almost 7:40 a.m. We are in the morning time here. Sweet. I got a new microphone, a little clip-on lavalier mic. It makes me look like a newscaster. But I was having problems with the iPhone. When the camera's pointing this way, it only records sound from this direction, and I'm on the opposite side of the camera, so it was 3:36 in Santa Cruz, all Santa Cruz. I miss Santa Cruz. I haven't been there in a while. I haven't been to California in a while, come to think of it. But glad you're joining me. Yeah, it's early here. I usually get up early to do these live streams because I know that is a good time when everyone is awake over on the opposite side of the planet. It's a little tough on vacation, getting up early. Sometimes you want to sleep in, like this duck here. The duck is saying, "Duck it, I'm sleeping in." Anyhow, it's a little overcast here today, but it's a nice morning, not too hot. It has been hot as balls. So yeah, yesterday we hung out at the beach. Actually finally got some swimming in this summer. It was the first time I've gotten in the water this summer, which, as a boy from the East Coast down at the beach, that's kind of a shame. This little river walk is part of the central river that runs through Ito, and it's pretty central to everything. You just gotta get down to where everything is, so bear with me as we walk. We'll head down. They have a barrel boat race on this river where people get in giant barrels, and not so much race, but you know, everyone floats down the river. And they have a sister race in Italy somewhere where they do the same thing, which is kind of funny to me. All right, as you can see, we are here, and we're gonna go here. So not too far. A short little walk. In fact, it's the next bridge up here. 6:38 on the East Coast. Yeah, dinner time. Well, share your dinner with me. I'm hungry. Yeah, the beaches here are crazy because all the sand is made up of old volcanic rock. So, I mean, it's sand, but it's just black. Black sand. It's real coarse. And the water is like a deep azure blue. It's pretty. It's very pretty. The water felt. I wonder if you can see these giant koi fish over here by this waterfall. Check this out. Just chilling in the river. That's another river that comes down from another area, probably up those mountains up there. I hate sand. It's coarse. It gets everywhere. The best pickup line in the Star Wars universe. If all it took was that line to land a galactic senator, you'd be set for life. Yeah, floating down the river dressed like nuns. That would be funny. What's up, Colonel Sanders? How you doing? Welcome to my live stream. Glad you made it. We are walking through the town of Ito in the prefecture of Shizuoka. And on this river walk, it's lined with bamboo art. And unfortunately it's daytime, but at nighttime these things light up and they look super cool. I will be releasing a video about this visit in the coming weeks, however long it takes me to edit it together. But in my video you will see all of these bamboo, I don't know, sculptures? Can you call them sculptures? These bamboo lamps all lit up. But yep, it's morning here. It is like 7:40, 7:45, and all the creatures are getting their morning on. I don't know what that guy's doing. He's getting some wings stretching in, soaking up some sunshine. But we are headed down to the central town. All right, Colonel, have some fried chicken for me. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And reflect off the river. It's really cool. But this is called the Tokaikan. Tokaikan. It's a museum now, but it's kind of like one of those spirited away bathhouses and inns from yesteryear. I would take you in there, but I don't think they allow live streaming inside, so we don't want to impose on them. But it's a cool looking place. Sitting here on the river. Hey, Miss Duck. But let's continue on. I'll take you around the front of this building. It's got a cool entryway. But you go in, you take your shoes off, and you walk around on these 150-year-old floors. And they're super cool. They made the floors to creak in a certain way so that no one could sneak up on anybody. All the floors make noise. This is what we call a shotengai. It basically translates to shopping street. Shoten is commerce and Gai is street or avenue. Yeah, so my hotel has hot springs on the top floor, big glass windows that look out on the city. So when I get done with you guys here, I'm gonna go sit in the hot springs. It's a way of life. So if you guys know me, you know I like to collect manhole covers. And here's a manhole cover commemorating the barrel race I was just talking about. And you see the guys in their barrels and one guy who's fallen out of his barrel as they float down the river over there. So it's a real thing. I didn't make it up. So we are about 4.5 hours by normal train from Tokyo. So I don't know how far that is in miles or kilometers, but it takes a fair amount of time to get down here. We are on the Izu Peninsula in the prefecture of Shizuoka. This is it's a weird little peninsula. It's surrounded, of course, it's surrounded by water, so it's surrounded by beaches, and in the center are these mountains. So you've kind of got that California feel where you can be on the beach and be on the top of a mountain in the same day. And you can see over there. There's the mountain. And then if I swing you around over here, there's the beach. I'll walk you over here and give you a view. Now technically this body of water is Sagami Bay, but the bay is so wide, the mouth of, and it goes right up until the Tokyo Bay, which is a real bay, takes over. Now, I don't normally do this, but there's nobody around, so I'm gonna be a bad American and cross against the light. You guys don't want to wait around on the light, do you? Somebody out there swimming already. Ooh, I kind of want to go swimming now. But as you can see, there are mountains and there is a beach. And I found myself on a big highway with lots of cars. Sorry about that. We'll get off this highway at the next junction. This is Inoue Maru. It's a little beach house where you can sit inside and get out of the sun during the middle of the day. You can bring your picnics. These people have brought their picnic, and they are starting early. It is early out there. Hey, look, we actually have the light. So that was the beach. It goes on around, but I wanted to take you into these little tiny streets where most of the life here in Ito happens. It's already warm, I'm telling you what. Already starting to sweat. And it's not even 8 a.m. Whew. All right. As we head deeper into town, you'll start seeing some more shops, but everything is closed because, like I'm always saying, it's too early. But maybe you can just enjoy checking out this tiny Japanese beach town with me. If we can find a place, if we can find a cafe or something, maybe we'll stop in and have some coffee. That might be fun, huh? Hey, I got the light. Let's go. Up the hill over there, you can see those condos. As you might imagine, being a beach town, and a small beach town at that, there is a good sized retirement community here. This is one of like 3 major towns on this coastline. And the one that's a little closer to Tokyo is called, what's the name of that place now? It's more popular with like the younger single young adult crowd, and therefore it tends to get a lot more crowded. It's called Atami, and it's a lot more touristy. So we generally avoid Atami and come down here to Ito, where most of the old folks come. Yeah, I must be getting old. But yes, let's find some place to have some coffee. We can have a coffee date. The guy in the taxi was looking at me like, hey, you need a ride? Hey, you need a ride? Nah, man, I'm good. I'm just walking around with my friends. Since we're of the older generation, we have to get our exercise when we can. And speaking of that, the wife is still curled up in her blankets in the hotel. We kept the hotel nice and cold because it's kind of warm outside. So it's one of the good things about a hotel, right? You can crank up the AC and then snuggle in under the covers. Like you at home, you'd be like, no, don't turn the AC up. I don't want to pay for that electricity. But in the hotel, you're like, yeah, crank it up. Crank it up. So we are walking down one of Ito's little shopping streets. However, it's still so early that everything's closed, but yeah, actually we do too. We bite the bullet and pay the exorbitant electric bill just to keep it cold. Nobody wants to be sweating in their own house, right? Ooh, look at this place. It's called Sweet Box. Hello, Sweet Box. This is a little bar. Of course, it's not open. But it's sweet. Maybe up here by the station. We're about to come across the train station up here. Maybe up here by the station we can find something that's open this early. This right here is one of my favorite places, and Risako just does not like it. She doesn't get it. It's called Uotami, and it basically translates to fisher people. And it's a bar restaurant where they have lots of good fish dishes, sashimi and sushi. Here you can see up here where it says Uotami Ito Ekimai Ten. We discussed this on a previous live stream, but if you weren't here, Eki is the word for station, and mai is the word that means in front of or before. And so an ekimai is the area that builds up in front of the train station. Since so many people come and go to that area to get on and off the train, a lot of stores, shops, cafes, restaurants kind of build up around the front of the station, so they have a word for it. It's called ekimai. And the ekimai 10 is just kind of another word for area. So the ekimai 10, they're not exactly in front of the station, but they're in the general area. Ekimai 10. But this little pink building you can see at the end of the street up here, I don't know if you guys can tell that it's pink. That is the station. That is the train station. This is where I arrived when I first got here yesterday. This is where I will depart later today. And hopefully it's a place where we can find a coffee shop that's open. That is Ito Station. And as you can well imagine, it's probably the most bustling part of town at this point, this point in the day. And it is a Sunday, so you know, folks aren't really going to work, but well, there's a 7-Eleven. That seems to be the only thing open. But I wonder if I could get a coffee. Get a bottle of coffee at 7-Eleven. Wow, they teach Japanese in middle school? Man, did I miss out when I was a kid. I would have loved to have taken Japanese in middle school. Just imagine how good I'd be at it by this age. Yeah, sushi. Every time I hear about someone who's like, oh, I can't stand sushi, I'm like, what? Are you an alien? How can you not like sushi? Sushi is delicious. Delicious. All right, kids. We're going to take a trip into 7-Eleven. Let's see if I can do all this while holding a camera. Show you guys around a little bit. These are fireworks. If you wanted to buy some fireworks. Or magazines with Disney princesses on them. Oh, that AC feels great. If you want to see what's currently selling on the stands as far as manga, this is what the 7-Eleven book stand looks like. We got some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We got a One Piece book that looks like it's specifically for Nami. Wow, taking a school trip to Japan would be so cool. We got a samurai manga. But if you're into manga and you're looking for the latest, what's the latest? These are the latest. That one looks pretty cool. It says TV anime, which means it has been adapted into cartoon form, into animation form. I don't know the name of it, but it looks pretty intense. All right, this is my best friend. It's the 7-Eleven ATM, and it works with American bank cards. So you don't have to worry about traveler's checks, and you don't have to worry about carrying a bunch of money on you, because everywhere you go there's a 7-Eleven, and every 7-Eleven has one of these beautiful machines inside. But let's take a look at the drink selection. We did come here for coffee. Of course, there's always Coca-Cola. But here is the coffee section. You can get 7-Eleven lattes. So funny story, this Georgia coffee. This Georgia coffee is from the state of Georgia in the US. Actually, it's probably made here, and it's owned by the Coca-Cola company, which is, you know, from Atlanta, but they wanted to get a wider grip on the market, so they decided to start selling bottled coffee in Japan. And because they're from Georgia, they call it Georgia. And because I'm from Georgia, yeah. Because I'm from Georgia, I always drink the Georgia coffee. Unless it's later at night. And then that's when the 7-Eleven liquor store comes into play. You got gin, you got Japanese whiskey, you got some Jack Daniels and Jim Beam. But I don't usually drink that. What I usually go for is this wide variety of sake. Now these 1 cups. Those 1 cups will do you right. And a couple of those and you don't need to drink anymore. All right, anyway, we're not here for liquor or wine. Let's grab a coffee and keep moving. Got to go stand on the spot over here until they call you. Hey. Shiranai chotto. Oh. So. Night. Tari night. Oh no, I dropped my microphone. All right, let's get this coffee and get on up out of here. I'm going to make a pit stop right here for a second and reattach my microphone. My microphone fell off while I was getting my coffee done. So give me 1 second. There we go. That should do it. I have 2 clips on it for a backup, but I somehow snagged it with my hand and ripped the whole thing off my shirt. Arigato! Okay, so we are back on the streets, back on the mean streets of Ito, Shizuoka. If you're just joining this live stream, we are in Ito, a small beach town on the coast of the Izu Peninsula in Shizuoka Prefecture. Oh, and that coffee tastes delicious. So, I got another little shopping street I want to show you. It's right over here. So a little later on today, we'll come back down here to the station, hop on the train, make our way back up towards Tokyo. But since it's Sunday and there's not really much going on, we'll probably stop along the way somewhere and enjoy our trip leisurely home. Now this big guy, the big red guy with the big nose, he's called a Tengu, 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 and he is one of Japan's supernatural yokai. He is a spirit, but the Tengu are good guys. They're protectors. And I don't know if you can see, but he's got a weed leaf on his hat. We can zoom in to old Tengu's hat. So, you know he's a good guy. He's got a weed leaf on his hat. And he is right next to the pachinko parlor. The pachinko, man, that is something I have yet to understand. It's something like it's kind of like slot machines. They work on little metal ball bearings, and when you win, all the ball bearings fall into a bucket, and then you take the bucket full of ball bearings and you cash it in for money. But it is a form of gambling, and just like all forms of gambling, it has its addictive nature. And you will see people lining up at like 9 in the morning to go in and start playing the pachinko machines. Check out this little guy, he's happy. He's got big ears. Oh no, and a big forehead. We call it a 5 head. He looks happy though. So this is another one of the little shopping streets that is so cool in this area. Unfortunately, it's a bit early for everyone, except for the folks out getting their exercise. There's a big soup bowl here. And they use those little black covers to keep the soup warm, or rice. You can have either. But I really like the way the street is paved. It's made with these concrete, I guess you could call them tiles. They're not really tile. These concrete squares, and it just, looking down this patchwork street, it kind of gives you a cool visual effect. And then over this direction It's actually probably right where that 7-Eleven was. And it has a different tile pattern. Maybe they're bricks? I don't know. Let me know in the chat what you think they're called. I don't think they're tiles. But yeah, it gives it a cool pattern. And then I love all the little signs. There's a guy with a surfboard. It says win. Yay. Ito Onsen. Yu no sakana do. So it says the city of Ito. Onsen is a weird word because sometimes it's used for the word city. So Ito Onsen. Onsen, of course, is a hot springs where the hot water bubbles up out of the ground. But it's also used for cities who are famous for hot water. And you can see he's got a little ladle in his hand with steam coming off the hot water. So this place is called Ito Onsen. And it's kind of like Ito Village or Ito Burg or Itoville. But it lets you know that in this town there are hot springs. Ito Onsen. And then below that it says Yu no Sakanadori. Yu, that first kanji, means hot water. And no sakana, excuse me, it means the hot water of the flower street. Dori, that last one means street. So anyway, a little lesson. And then here on the ground you have that same guy. And it's weird because it looks like it's a circle. But when you get close up on it, it's all stretched out. So that when you look at it from down the street, it looks right. If you back up and look at it at this angle, the perspective makes it look right. I did see fireworks last night. It was about a 20-minute display out over the beach. I recorded all of it, and it will be in my upcoming video about Ito Onsen in the next week or two. So, you know, anytime I get a chance to get out of my area, get out of my hometown, and go on a trip, of course I'm going to shoot a bunch of video and put together a little travel video for all of you guys so you can see what it was like. We came here on a train called the Black Ship Train, or in Japanese it's called the Kuro Fune Densha. The black ship is significant because that is what the Americans showed up in the 1860s, like 1868, when they came and basically pried open the doors of Japan. Japan had been closed for 200 years due to a bunch of Dutch and Portuguese Christians who came to Japan and tried to convert everybody, a bunch of missionaries, and tried to convert everyone and get the Japanese folks to follow Jesus Christ instead of following the emperor. And that did not sit well. And they murdered a bunch of Christians here and then shut the country down for 200 years and didn't let any foreigners in. And if you were found to be harboring a foreigner, the penalty was death. But anyway, that was in the 1650s. In the 1860s, America sent probably 13 giant black metal warships to knock on the door and try to get Japan to open up. America had wanted to do business with Japan. I'm not exactly sure what or why, but anyway, the guy's name was Commodore Perry, and he came in a giant rebel spacecraft. No, I mean, he came in a giant black ship and basically just started firing off cannons. He pulled into the Tokyo Bay, and the Japanese had never seen a ship. They were still operating on 1600s ship technology, wooden ships, wooden vessels. They'd never seen a steam vessel. They'd never seen a ship that was belching black smoke, and obviously had never seen cannons. But Commodore Perry showed up and started firing off a bunch of cannons. He wasn't really firing cannonballs, so to speak. They were basically our version of, their version of blanks. Lots of noise, lots of smoke, but there was no projectile. And so the Japanese were like, oh shit, maybe the world is progressing without us. Ever since we closed our borders 200 years ago, maybe that wasn't such a great idea, because these guys got ships and they can just come and lay siege to our country. So they decided to open up commerce with America, with foreigners for the first time in 200 years. And that's basically when the Japanese and American friendship, if you could call it a friendship. Black train, it only runs like maybe once every 3 hours you can catch it. But that's what we got on the way down, was the Kurofune Densha, the black train, the black ship train. And when we go back, there's a different one. All right, ready for another tangent? Down here, there is a fish, this very famous fish dish, and the name of the fish is golden eye. It's a red fish, like bright red fish, and it has a giant eye. Their eyes are giant and they're gold. So it's, of course, it's called the gold eye fish, or in Japanese, kinme. Kin meaning gold and me meaning eye. The kinme. It is a very famous dish down here, and all the restaurants sell it. And it comes with this really kind of a sweet sauce. It's so delicious. But anyway, because it is such an icon down here, and because it is so famous, there's a train called the Kinme train. And that train is red and has golden fish all over the side of it. So that's the train we'll be taking back. I don't know where I'm going. I just found this little alleyway and started walking. So we'll be taking the Kinme, or the Golden Eye train, on the way back. And these trains are cool because they have the seats in the car. They're kind of in a weird angle, but they face the windows instead of facing forward or facing backwards. They face miles for a couple hours, and you can sit there, travel sideways, and look straight out the window at the sea. So both of the Black Ship train and the Golden Eye train have this setup, and you can watch more about it in my Densha series, my train series video that I'm gonna make. I'm making one video that has both the